Hello. Welcome back to learning the SQL and PLSQL. And we are going to talk about the stored procedures, okay, in this particular tutorial. The thing is, when we are executing the stored procedure, what happens exactly? That we are coming to know. The other thing is when we have PLSQL block, why we have to write down the stored procedure or the function, right? So when you talk about PLSQL block, the thing is it is no named uh, PLSQL block or no named procedure. It would be better, yeah, to say that no named. But when you talk about the stored procedure, it has got some name, okay. So named procedures, okay, and they are also known as stored procedure. And the other thing is you can call them from your GUI programming language. You can call them from the SQL prompt. You can call them from the PLSQL block. So that is the idea behind writing the stored procedure. So we will start it and then I'll let you know what is it and how to execute it, about all these things, etc. So let's start. Okay, so we will understand what is procedure, what is function, etc. And then we would try to write down the block for the same. So procedures use their syntax, the differentiate between procedure and function, and then we are going to talk about the function. So procedures is a stored procedure is a prepared SQL statement which you can save so the code can be reused over and over again. So if suppose for example I want to write down a code for showing or displaying the data of customer or maybe supplier, okay, then that time what is going to happen, obviously if suppose that data has to be displayed in your code, then you can call that particular procedure name. Or suppose if you want to calculate the bill, okay, the bill can be calculated again and again, fine. So you can, when as and when you require it to be executed or calculated, okay, you can reuse it over and over again. So you have an SQL query that you write over and over again, but the stored procedure, when you talk about, you can just call it or execute it. So you can call it by call statement, you can execute it by exec statement or execute, or you can call it from the PLSQL block, or you can call it from the front end language like Java, or maybe Python, or maybe say .NET platform. So you can also pass parameters to a stored procedure, and obviously they have different modes, and they are nothing but in, out, etc. Though we will have a look at it. So create, what is the syntax? The create or replace procedure name. We are going to give our variable names inside the bracket. In out or in out. Okay, they are the modes. In is the input, out is the output, and in out is which is used as the input and output both. So if suppose I want to calculate, say a plus 1, every time a plus 1, c equal to a plus 1, okay, then c would be out, but a would be in. But if I say a equal to a plus 1, it would be in out. That a would be input also and a is an output also. Later on, we are going to write down variable or constant declaration, then begin our PLSQL block. If you want to write down an exception, as it is not mandatory, exception can be called, and then the end procedure name or only end. Whatever the procedure name has been given over here can be written over here. Okay. So there are modes which I have told you already. They are in, out, and in, out. Okay. And obviously, whenever the variables are passed as input, it is in. Whenever the variables are showing you as an output, okay, where you are storing an output, that would be out. Otherwise, it would be in, out, which is passed as input as well as output. You can see it as a equal to a plus b. A is output also, and a is passed as an input also. There is very important thing which is there with respect to procedures or the functions wherever you want to handle the errors. The errors can be handled by using select star from user underscore errors. or if you want to see what all procedures you have created, you can give a select star from user underscore procedures or select star from user underscore functions. In the same manner, user underscore triggers, user underscore packages, we can give that. This is nothing but the data dictionary, okay, and which stores the metadata. The data about the data, that is the data about the procedures or the functions or the triggers or the errors, etc. Okay, so when you want to say execute the procedure or the function and you want to show the error, it can be given by using show errors. Okay, otherwise you would get it procedure is created with the compilation errors, only that much you would be shown. There are few stored procedure functions advantages, improves database performance because you are not executing, you are reusing the code and you are executing it. That is the idea behind it. Okay, provides reusability and avoids redundancy. It maintains integrity, all the data is there together in the procedure has been defined and then it is executed. It gives you security and saves the memory. So there are few procedures or the functions advantages. We would see how to write down the procedure now. Okay, so this is the procedure written in the notepad file. Create or replace procedure. I want to display all the employee details. And this is the procedure which can be reused over and over again. So get emp details or get emp det. They are my memory variables and actually they are present in my table also with some other name, say employee number, e-name, etc. Okay, so if suppose I show you over here what is happening, I can show you that. Okay, and then the thing is, you can see here, select star from emp. The same old table I'm using, and then create a replace procedure, and there is an eno, e-name, salary, and birth date. So I want to say I want to use create a replace procedure, get employee details, p employee no in number, p name out varchar, and p sal out number. Okay, and obviously I want to show the name and the salary for the employee number which has been provided. Okay, at the time of execution of the of this particular procedure. Fine. So is select e name comma sal into p name comma p sal from employee where eno equal to p empno, which I am going to pass at the time of execution when I am going to execute this stored procedure. And then obviously I would execute it. So we will try to do it. You can see here I have executed the procedure. Procedure created has come. I will give here, it is salary which I want to show, and later I would give, it is e-name I suppose, and I have to give, please keep it in mind here, the data type and the size, and the data type, if it is character or a rather it is, if it is varchar, you have to give it as varchar 2. Okay, it won't work for varchar. Just wait, I will show you once. Okay, it gives you an error. It asks you to make use of varchar 2. Fine, and then I'm going to execute it. So exec, what is my procedure name? Get emp underscore det. Okay, and I suppose my employee number 1 is present. Fine, I want to print the salary and the e-name. Okay, please keep it in mind, it would give me an error because the thing is, it is trying to see what is there in the table, and in the table whenever you see, okay, you can see the order, the sequence in this manner: first salary, first e-name and then the salary. So I have to give in the same order, otherwise it gives me an error because it tries to get the data from one column to another and it tries to verify it every time. Okay, so I'll have to give here set. Fine, it is giving me running because I had written in my procedure that if it runs, then show it's running. I'll have to show the values. So I'll say print. Okay, and if I give here print ename, it would give me in this manner. Okay, so this can be executed in this manner. You can execute it by using call. You can execute it by using from the PLSQL block. It is really very easy to understand. Okay, so it showed me the output in this manner, and you can see here that one M has been shown. Okay, so we will look at the function now and how to execute it. That we will understand. Okay, so functions are nothing but again a type of stored procedures which we execute. Okay, in such a way that we want to execute that task over and over again. Only the difference is in case of function we return a value. In case of procedure we don't. In case of procedure there is an out variable. In case of function there is an out variable, but generally we print the value, we show the value, we display the value using return. Okay, so differentiate between stored and stored procedure and function. Stored procedure may not return a value, but function returns a value. If it is returning a value, then by using out. Okay, uses in out or in out parameter. It uses in, even in out also, but then generally in is used a lot. Returns a value using out, I told you that. Here the value is written by using return. Does not specify the data type of the value. If it is going to return after a calling made to it, it does specify and cannot be called from the function block of code. It can be called from the procedure block of code. Function can be called from the procedure, but the procedure can't be called from the function. So that is an idea behind it. So the functions are nothing but again the stored procedure. Okay, PLSQL subprogram which return the value, which can be used over and over again. Okay, and the other thing is when you write down the SQL statements, when you write down the PLSQL block, okay, you have to execute it separately. This you can call directly from the front-end programming language. So I told you that function use return keyword to return the value, and the data type of this is defined at the time of creation. It's a standalone block, and function also return the value using out. So this is function syntax. Create or replace function, function name. Okay, it is also known as procedure name only because it comes under stored procedure. Okay, then return data type. This is very, very important. Okay, and then is or as. The declaration part. If suppose you have certain a new variable which you have given, which is not a part of the table, then you can give it as. Begin execution part. Exception again not mandatory, and then end. So functions can be seen by select star from user underscore functions, and the function name should be unique. So that's the idea about the stored procedure. So that was about the stored function and the procedure. Okay, and we will try to write down a code now by using the function. Fine, and we are going to write it down in such a manner that you can see here create or replace function. Add two, there are two variables which have to be added, a int and b int, and I want to return the integer data type. So obviously if I'm going to add the two integers, the data type would be int only. So return a plus b, and it can be called from this. Okay, so if I execute it, fine. Okay, you can see here the function is created. It would be as simple as that. And when I'm going to execute it from the function, from the PLSQL block, fine. Here you can see if the two variables are passed as 20 the values for them are 12 and 34, the output would be 46. Okay, so in this manner the function can be executed. But if suppose that was about calling a function from the PLSQL block, but if suppose I want to execute it on the SQL prompt, I'm going to give it like this. I have just taken a variable b, any variable. There should be an assignment operator. Add2 is my function name. Okay, you can see the add2 as the function which is present over here. Fine, and then this is the add2 function we have written, and I want to execute it now. Fine. So obviously it has to return a value. It returns a value, so I have to give some variable at the beginning, because the function is supposed to be given as an assignment to a variable. Okay, so you can set, if I want to see the output, I can give here, and you can see the output as 57. So we saw how to execute it from the PLSQL block as well as from the command prompt, from the SQL prompt. Okay, that's it. I suppose it must be very easy for you and will be very useful for you to execute it from the front-end programming language or from the backend or the SQL prompt. So please watch it, and please watch all other videos, and thank you. Stay tuned.